Good morning, everyone. You can see no one's on the freaking street except me. It is, there you go, 5:42. Because I've got a client at 7, and I mean the bus ride takes me around 25 minutes, maybe 30, and in the mornings, like now when nothing's on the street, it's even quicker. But I need time in the coffee shop. It's just what I love to do. It's freezing, man. So cold. But yeah, I'm pumped. Yesterday, you know, I told you, slap attack in the morning. Yeah, I'm just pumped. Just pumped with energy and life and what's going on. I'm really, really happy. So I think I'll get a coffee first. See, we're already in the city. Like I told you, it took me 15 minutes because there's no traffic in central London. And that's awesome. I mean, here, this is basically the beginning of Oxford Street. It's like massively busy. But yeah, it's nice. They put out the Christmas stuff. Here's Pret. That's where I'm gonna go to get a coffee now. And I'm listening to Gary V's last Daily V. But I don't know, I think Pret is actually still closed. It is! No! Shit. I need to find something else. This place is open at 6. This is on Baker Street. That's Pret, and this is my favorite place to actually chill out as well. Whoa, did you see that? Alright, they have this thing in here, but when you open it, you'll see it. That's like a thing you can stir your coffee with. It's quite smart, but I don't need it. Coffee in the house. There you go, Baker Street in the house. You can see the Christmas tree as well. Listen to some music and then some emails. So let's enjoy that. You know what just happened? I just realized I left my Gopro camera in Pret today in the morning when I was there at 6 o'clock. Now it's 12 o'clock. And I'm like, fuck. So I got off the bus, got onto the next bus going back, so I'm going to go to the actual Pret to see if the camera's still there. That would be such a headache if that camera's gone. It's like £300 just standing around. I really hope that no one took the camera, or at least was honest and gave it to the table at the back, you know, to the... I'm just like, what's going on? Forgot the freaking camera. So let's see, hopefully it's still there. Awesome, so I'm in Pret and they actually found it, and they kept it. Thumbs up, the world is great. Oh, this is awesome. So I actually found it. So I'm in Pret on Baker Street. There's a shout out to you being so grateful and nice by keeping this and not letting it get stolen. So that's really cool. If you guys ever come here, make sure you buy a coffee and something like that. So it's really awesome. Wow, this is amazing, guys. I'm just so thrilled that this camera is still here. You can't believe it. This is a 350 pound camera, and that I nearly lost it. Even though I had this massive deal yesterday where I could easily afford buying a new one, I just didn't want to. And you know, I actually went out of Pret and I felt like crying. I just felt like, I don't know, it's so nice what's happening in a way. So what happened is I was on the bus, I knew I left this camera, so I got off the bus on the other one, and then I imagined, hopefully the camera's still there, so I imagined the camera standing on the floor, and if the camera is not on the floor, I imagine someone has picked it up and took it back. I really prayed, like please, please, please let that happen. And it did. So, I don't know, I think this thing up here is working really well in terms of what I want and what I get. So, please, please, please switch your brain on, switch your focus on what you want, and you will fucking get it. I can't say anything else. And that music is fucking amazing as well. It's just so motivating. It's a German song, by the way. Now I'm gonna eat something. I'm gonna have eggs, 6 eggs, Yakult, chicken, this. So this is, I never thought I would love that music. It's called Sido Astronaut. It's a German song, but I fucking love that song. I don't know. It's probably has 70 million views, so it's not only me who likes it. Here's the freaking plate. Yeah, so the other thing I'm getting, or eating, I bought 2 of them. but I'm only gonna eat one, like a bread roll. This one looks better. This one I'll just keep. Because guess what? I'm going back to cinema, and you have to guess which film. Now, I'm gonna be cutting this open, toasting it. So here comes the, what's it called? The thingy. Time lapse! That's the word! Here comes the time lapse! So we have, so it's, well, you've seen it. Chicken breast and all that shit, what I normally eat. And I'm still waiting for my coffee to finish. I'm gonna have a bit of ayran, like half of it. And because I'm gonna go to the cinema tonight, I'm not gonna eat after this. So this is now 2 o'clock first meal. And then at the cinema I might actually have some chocolate, like M&M's or something, I'm not sure yet. I just wanna have a bit of fun when I go. So that's all my calorie allowance, by the way. So it's not like I'm pigging out, I'm just making sure that's all fine. I might have a bit of steak, which I still have in the fridge, which I will eat before the cinema, so I'm not super hungry, because otherwise you overeat on this shit, and we don't want to do that. Yeah, other than that, I'm gonna hork down this food now, and then we'll see what else is to come. There was something else on my mind I wanted to talk about to you guys. I'll think about it, 1 second.
Hey Mark, what are your opinions on doing a deload week after you do a bulk? Thanks.
So John, now when we talk about deload week, when should you do that? Should you do it after a bulk? Should you do it after a cut? When should you be doing deloads? Generally speaking, a deload week, the reason why you would do that is because if you're in a bulk, you're really pushing yourself in terms of, you know, you want to hit your new PBs, personal bests, maybe do your attempt some more like 1 rep maxes and stuff. So you're really pushing your joints, your ligaments and everything to the max. Now, let's say you're on a 12-week bulk or a 16-week bulk, then you might want to do a deload week before. And a good time to do deloads is when you hit sort of a plateau a little bit. You could just ease off in a way. So for example, let's say you're training for 4 weeks in a bulk and you're really pushing it and so on and so forth, and at one point you're hitting a plateau. You just don't manage to push more weight on a bench or on deadlift or whatever, and you're just stuck. Then it's a good time to deload that week, but deload just means dropping down slightly the weight, something like 10% or 15%, maybe maximum of 20% you drop down, keep pushing through that week, and then at the end of the week you keep your calories and everything the same, and then you push back up. Most of the time that's enough to break through that plateau. So you would say strategically put in deloads depending on your state of training. Again, generally speaking, when you're coming out of a cut or out of a full bulking program, doing a deload is absolutely mandatory. You want to make sure that you give your body a sort of rest, and that can, you know, in my opinion, be also something between 2 and 4 weeks, even 6 weeks, where you just train a little bit lighter, get back into it. You could even do something totally different in a deload week. Let's say different sports, play soccer, do something totally, you know, get your body moving in a different way, and then you hit back into your next sort of cycle, whatever it's going to be, if it's a cut, like a mini cut, or the next bulking phase. So that's what I would recommend to do. And obviously in terms of deload weeks, there's so many opinions out there, but this is what I would do. Right, something else I saw is I've got this message popping up on my Dash Studio, whatever it's called. This gives you sort of an overview of your YouTube channel. And look what it says. It says, "You've received 10,000 likes for the first time." Yes, baby! That's great news. So on my 1,000 rep challenge, which actually hit 1 million views, we got 10,000 likes. It was, I think 2 days ago, my 200th vlog video, and we hit 22,000 subscribers. So all the numbers are like, fucking hell, they're going through the roof, which is great. I'm really excited. Oh, and the other thing is, this guy called Julian, he did an interview with me, and you're gonna be seeing it here. And I'm gonna be linking this video to his channel. And if you wanna see this, you know, it's like an interview with me, my freaking smiley face, and you're gonna see. Yeah, I'm at the moment 36 years old. I'm 190 in height. As you can see, my internet is really not the best at the moment. Yeah, anyway, so what I'm trying to say is this guy, he reached out to me. He said, "Mark, could I do an interview with you, because you've seen the 1,000 rep challenge and so on and so forth." So I'm gonna put the link in the description box. Julian, I think that's how you spell his name. He has quite a small channel, but he's sort of a fitness enthusiast, and he interviews lots of fitness people, and I was one of the guys on his list. So I did this interview. It's like 20 minutes long, and he asked me all these questions about fitness, in terms of industry, how long I've been doing it, whom I've worked with, and all this stuff. So if you want to watch that video, I highly recommend it. And just to give him some love and support, I subscribe to his channel. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well to give him some love and support. Right? That's what we do here on YouTube. So punch the like button, punch the subscribe button. Not only with my channel, also with his one. So in terms of personal training, I'm getting more and more requests, and that is great in terms of my business growing. And one thing I wanted to do was hire other PTs. So what I'm now doing, I'm reaching out to my legal department. It's a lady I've been working with. She's done all my contracts and so on. And I'm asking her now to set up a new contract, which will be between my company and the PTs I hire. It's not an employment contract really, because they're going to be contractors. They're not going to be employed by my company. But we have to figure this out. So I'm gonna have a call with Vanessa, which is my go-to legal person, and yeah, we'll get that sorted. Because as of the new year, I will have a lot of people coming in which need personal training, which I can't do by myself anymore, which is great. And that way I can create another income stream for myself by distributing leads, being sort of a lead distributor, and screening people at the beginning and giving them the right PT to work with. Because this is what I said before, if you're a PT and you're watching this and you're in London and you think you're qualified enough to take on clients, high profile clients, then please message me, because I'm looking for people who are very, very good at what they do, and then I'll screen you as well. Because for some people who are watching this who want to become PTs, the number one reason why PTs fail in the industry is because they don't know how to get clients. The second reason why they fail is because they don't know how to keep clients. And the third reason why they fail is because they don't know how to run a business. And these are all three things I can help people with. I can get them leads, I can teach them how to keep the leads, and I can teach them how to do business. Because what I mean by business is everything what you do when you are sort of self-employed. You need to know when to pay your taxes, how much money you need to put aside, generally how your pricing structure works and all this stuff. You have to figure out how do you market yourself and all these things. I mean, I'm not going to be teaching all that, obviously, otherwise, my business out of business, everyone does what I do. But yeah, that's sort of the gist of it, and that's why some PTs are really struggling. And I just had a discussion with another PT or two other at my gym, which I'm going to be hiring, and they're going to be working with me, which are really great PTs. But you have to be sort of everything in one. What Gary Vee always says, he says, be a media company first, and then be a letting agent, a car dealer, a personal trainer, whatever. And that's my approach. That's why I'm so active on social media in terms of, YouTube, my blog, on Instagram, on Snapchat. I'm basically everywhere. And all these photos, I've got a PR company working with me. I've got people who are qualified. I also made the mistake. You've seen I hired some people who are crap, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, that's the whole point, that you sort out and sort through people who are good and help you in what you do. But this whole thing about it being a media company is so freaking important, especially because this thing here, which is going to be exchanged to the iPhone 7 Plus very soon, is going to be the television, as Gary always says. He says this is the new television, and the television is becoming the radio. That's what he always says, and I totally agree with this. So if you don't know how to be on this efficiently, so when someone is in London and they flip out their phone and say, I'm looking for a personal trainer, and Marc Dressen shows up, guess who they're booking? They're not booking Joe Blogs, who might be, who knows, better qualified than I am, is, everything is better about that person than me. But if he doesn't show up here, I'm getting that lead and I'm winning. So that's my focus ever since, when I came back from Germany. I have been pushing like crazy on SEO, on my website, and so on and so forth, that it works on here, because that is the number one thing which will determine success in the future. And I'm so pumped in being already in a situation where it's working out for me, because I can see how the leads come in, and I actually can't handle it anymore, and that's great. That's how I can grow my business. And now's the time to do that, because what will happen in around 12 to 24 months, when this is becoming even more mandatory, and people will say, well, if you have a WordPress site, make sure it works on mobile first and not on the desktop. Make sure that 80% of your users are able to find you here and work here. It's too late. It's the same thing with YouTube. In a way, it's harder now to get traction on YouTube than it was a year, 2 years, 3, 5, 10 years ago. Obviously, if you're one of the first ones, you always have it easier. So just wanted to fill you in what I'm doing in my business, because I think some of you guys might be interested in that. If not, you can just skip ahead. But if you're new to this, if I say I always give myself a slap attack, because I hate when people say but I somehow, it's ingrained in my language. Anyway, I'm gonna keep working now. Oh my god, I'm dead. I'm freaking dead. I went to the cinema, I saw this movie and it was really awesome. I loved it. It was called Moana. It's like a Disney movie. It's where The Rock is the guy who does the voiceover, and it's actually really funny. And actually, you know, all these Disney films, they have like an underlying sort of motivation, and yeah, it was good. It was just exactly what I needed. So, without further ado, time to go to sleep. Good night.